Have you ever wondered how great players make the game look really easy and effortless? Well, I'm going to show you something that they do, which you can do in your golf swing. It's going to help you play a lot better. I want to start with a little demonstration because this is really tapping into your kind of natural instincts. And if we can make use of those, you can become a far more consistent golfer. Now just imagine this is an object, it's not a golf club. And if you ask me to hit the screen at about where that green is, nothing to do with golf, I would do something like this. I would just hit the screen. Now, without really thinking too much about it, at some point, my golf club would be on an angle which references that green, as you can see there. But then if you said to me, okay, now hit way up towards the sky on that hole up there, what I would do is I'd sort of tilt my body back and I would do something and I would hit the screen up here. And without too much conscious thought, I would change the angle of my golf club because I realised it's got to hit up towards the screen. It wouldn't make any sense to keep my body shape the same, to keep the golf club on this angle, to then try and hit the top of the screen. I would instinctively react to where my target is. If we can do that in the golf swing, it makes the golf swing more instinctive, more natural, and you can be more consistent. So I'm going to show you the two things that you need to do, which is what the pros do, which helps you do that in your swing. So what are those two movements? Number one, what your hands and your arms do. You can see how with my hands and arms I can really influence the shape of the golf swing. And the second thing is what my body does, which is why I've got this golf bag here. We'll come to that in a moment. As I set up to this ball, I've placed my golf bag just behind me so that I can just feel the kind of ends of the golf clubs. Then what I'm going to do, take the golf club, pop it across my shoulders. Now this is such a simple drill that you can do at home or at the driving range, but it's basically going to help you understand how to pivot and rotate your body on an angle. This is what great players do. You do not see any great players standing up in the backswing because I can straight away feel I've come away from that golf bag, and I've just explained that that's going to change the angle and the shape of my swing. It's going to change the angle of the golf club in a negative way. So what I've really got to try and understand with this little exercise is how do I pivot? How do I rotate my body, yet keep in contact with whatever I've got behind me? Obviously, in my case, it's my golf bag. And when I do that correctly, I get angle through my shoulders, I get angle through my hips, and I get angle through my knees. Now, my left hip at this point is lower than my right hip. My left shoulder is clearly lower than my right shoulder. This is me turning on an angle. But what I'd love you to do, take a setup. I've got 8-iron here. Once you're comfortable, take the club across your shoulders and just start to pivot, making contact with that golf bag. And the beauty with this is because you've got that little reference point behind you, you're going to kind of self-discover. You're going to start to create the feels that you want. Now, I would almost guarantee that there's going to be none of you, and you can drop down to the comments and let me know if I'm wrong, there's going to be none of you who, when you do this, push the golf bag over. But it wouldn't surprise me if the majority of you make a backswing and actually feel like you move away from the golf bag. The progression, there's no reason why you can't set up this way and actually hit some shots. I'm not really thinking of the golf club, I'm just thinking of that golf bag behind me, turning my body on an angle. So now we start to link the hands and the arms to that good pivot. This is where we start to get that perfect swing shape, which basically helps you hit dead straight shots. Then remember at the end of the video, I'm going to show you that cool little trick. So I've created a channel. I've just done that with 2 alignment sticks. You can use 2 golf clubs. That channel is about a foot wide. The reason I've got that channel about a foot wide is because, yes, we want the golf club to be referencing the golf ball, but we don't have to be exact. We're not looking at 1 degree out here, 1 degree there. We're just looking at getting that golf club to basically reference the channel. And when we look at the great players, and we can list them off, but you'll see them on the screen here. When we are looking at both backswing and downswing, we will generally say that that golf club, if we draw a line through the golf club, points into that channel. It's what all of the greats do. Now, is there some change in the angle of the golf club from backswing to downswing? Very often. But do we see great players in here? Very, very rarely. Do we see great players transitioning in here where it points towards my feet? We don't see that. But I see it all too often in the amateur game, and it just makes it so much more difficult for you to play this game. The whole downswing is going to feel like a battle. And you can see that I've just popped a tee into the end of the golf club, and then I'm going to go right the way down. So I've got my left hand onto the bottom of the handle, right hand is going to go onto the metal. Very simply, imagine I've got a golf ball there. I'm going to set up, and what I'm looking to do now is create that good pivot with my body and get the tee to point into the channel when my lead arm is around about level with the ground. So you can see lead arm level, tee points into the channel. Now what controls that? Well, it's my rotation of my arm. You can see that there. So for me to get that into the channel, I have got to have some wrist set, but wrist set alone doesn't set the angle. Rotation of my arm sets the angle. If I don't have enough rotation, it's this side. If I over-rotate, it's outside. So it's the rotation of my arm which really sets the shape of my golf swing. And obviously, I've got two hands on there, so it's a combination of the two. So how simple is it an exercise to create this kind of perfect swing shape? I know that my body pivot should be good. Set the club into the zone. Set the club into the zone. Set the club into the zone. And remember, this is tapping into your natural instincts because you know that the ball is down there. That is your target. We're just tapping into those natural feelings of setting the golf club on line with your target. From here, you can complete your backswing, and then on the way down, guess what? Back into the channel. That's going to give you this perfect shape of downswing, this perfect delivery position. We go into the zone, we work it, back into the zone, and we clip it. Doing those little exercises that we just talked about gets you into a position where straight shots are going to happen a lot more consistently. And you're going to find it actually quite easy to hit straight shots. And what that does, it opens up the opportunity to have a little bit more control over the golf ball. So because what we've just gone through gives me that neutral path, I hit straight shots. But straight away, what we can do then is we can say, well, let's take our beautifully shaped golf swing, which it just works on, and if I simply just change my alignment out to the right or out to the left and do the same swing, we are easily, and trust me, if you're going to try it, we're easily able to create curve on the golf ball. So if you're in trouble, you can curve it back into fairway. Or maybe you're at an advanced level and you want to curve it towards flags. We can do it really easy. It's really hard to control the curve on the golf ball if your golf club is moving such as this. Under, over, always changing the angle of the golf club. You're in recovery mode. So let's see if we can hit a right to left shot into this flag. I'm going to keep the golf swing exactly the same. I'm simply going to aim more out to the right of that green. So you can see that I've done that with my alignment, but I'm still trying to pivot my body the same. I'm still trying to get my golf club into that zone. That zone is now just angled like my body. And then all I have to do is close the club face a little bit at impact. And we get the ball way out to the right, curving back, and onto the green. So it was really easy for me to hit a right to left shot because I've got a very neutral swing, and a neutral swing makes it really easy to have control of the golf ball. Just look at the different ball flight there. Started way right, curve back to the left. Now, I'm not as good at the fade, but let's have a go. It's also going to take a bit of yardage off, so I might not reach this flag. But there's my aim, up the left. Same swing, different alignment, gives me a different curve. There we go, up the left, curving back, right into the middle of the green.